is Thursday, March 25th, 2021, and I am going to give you a post-op update. So I am post-op day 4 of the second and final stage of my InterStim procedure, which I talk about in more detail in previous videos. But I got it done because of my neurogenic bladder. They don't know the cause of the neurogenic bladder, but either way, it was becoming really dangerous for me to continue to cath because I was getting really bad sepsis infections and just other UTIs and other complications from cathing. So in order to avoid that at all costs, we tried this InterStim procedure, and the trial phase went super well. After day 4, post-op from the first procedure, I changed the program, and the next day I was able to go to the bathroom on my own without having to cath. And then like every day after that, I was able to void more and more on my own and cath less and less. So, which is really, really good. So then they scheduled me for the second part, which was this past Monday, March the 22nd of 2021, and I got that done in the afternoon. It was scheduled for the morning, but it got delayed a few hours. So yeah, in the afternoon. So it went really, really well. No complications initially. I think I posted day 1 post-op video, and I was just basically saying like it went really well, but I did, for some reason, my body did go into SVT, which stands for supraventricular tachycardia, and I do have a history of this, so they felt comfortable with just treating me at the time. I was cardioverted, which is the shock to the heart to bring it back into rhythm. And no, it's not fun, but they did that, and my heart went right back to normal rhythm, and they just gave me some time to recoup from that, and then I was discharged soon after to go home. They felt really comfortable with me just seeing cardiology outpatient. So long story short, the whole procedure and everything, it went very smoothly, and I was able to go home and rest. The next day, I noticed that I was really, really tired, really just not feeling good, wasn't able to really eat much, was just really nauseous all day. I just really didn't feel good, and so I wasn't really sure what was going on, but I just didn't feel good at all. So I basically slept a lot on Tuesday, thinking that maybe it was just because I literally, had surgery, and like who knows what else it could have interacted with my Crohn's disease, or it could have set off a flare with that, who knows, because I do also suffer from IBD, which is irritable bowel disease, but I won't go into that in this video. But so anyways, I wasn't feeling very good on Tuesday, and then yesterday I felt even worse, and I just I was just really, really nauseous and lightheaded and dizzy. And, I didn't need pain medication. They did send me home with some, in case I did have some pain from, obviously where the incision is, but I didn't ever have any pain there, and I still don't have any pain, there at all, which is so good. I mean, my surgeon did a fantastic job. I have no complaints, but, I just know that my body was feeling very lousy right after. And, so Tuesday, all through Tuesday, and then Tuesday night into Wednesday, I just felt so sick. Wasn't really able to get up and like move around. I didn't have any energy. Like I said, I felt very lightheaded and dizzy. And so I thought, well, maybe something's going on. Maybe I have like some kind of infection that I'm not, aware of. Maybe it could be like a UTI that I don't know. But, so I ended up, calling my urology, the office, and spoke to a nurse, and they told me just to to be safe, to go to the emergency room, just to make sure that I didn't have like a really bad infection or something, because she also thought it could be like a UTI. Those are common after, procedures. But anyway, so I ended up a couple hours later, I ended up driving myself like 40 minutes to the hospital where I got the procedure done, just so that I felt more comfortable being there in case, my surgeon needed to see me, or in case, they didn't know what the procedure was, and there was complications with it. I don't know. I just felt more comfortable going there. So I drove 40 minutes to that hospital by myself. Again, I was very, just so nauseous. Like, I could not handle it. I hadn't eaten anything like all day. Literally couldn't drink anything. I just felt every time I ate or drank anything, I just felt immediate nausea, and like never threw up, but I definitely was dehydrated and felt very sick. So ended up going to the emergency room, waited like an hour. This particular hospital is very, very busy, and so they were at full capacity, and so it did take a while for me to even be seen. And of course, they take top priority, so the people who have cases that are more urgent go first, and so I was like the last one to be seen, but I was willing to wait, because I figured, it didn't feel dangerous. I didn't feel really good, and I just was afraid that I needed to get some kind of antibiotics in me quickly, just to get rid of this infection, which is why I didn't go to urgent care either. So I waited my turn. I got seen. It was like an hour. I got seen. By that point, I was just so like sick to my stomach, so nauseous. I had been to the bathroom a couple times because I just felt like I was going to throw up, and I didn't want to do it in the waiting room. And so yeah, I did get seen eventually, and they got me right back. And it was really weird. They didn't actually they just had me get my gown and just wait, and then it took a long time for a doctor or anybody to actually come in and evaluate me and see what's going on and put an IV in me and all that. It took another 30 minutes before anything was even done. I was just sitting there, before blood work or anything was done. So I sat there and waited, and finally they were like, okay, we're going to put an IV in you, and you're probably really dehydrated, so we're going to give you a bag of IV fluids, which I figured I was going to get because I knew I was dehydrated, and I knew that would at least help me feel a little better, if not anything else. So then eventually they had to get the ultrasound machine, which if you've never seen one before, it's really cool. But they have an ultrasound machine that they can use to actually put an IV in you. I'm a very, very hard stick. I've been through 2 or 3 nurses usually. Every time I have to get an IV, I go through 2 or 3 nurses, or, phlebotomists, or whoever. I go through a lot of people, it seems, and I end up getting poked at least 6 or 7 times every single time I have to get any kind of blood work or IV or anything. So I always dread that part, but they immediately, no questions asked. She was like, I don't see anything, so I'm going to go ahead and get an ultrasound machine, and that took a while because she couldn't get one that worked. And when I say she, it was my nurse that was taking over for me, so she had to find one that actually worked, and then finally she did, and she was able to go ahead and ultrasound me, and she went ahead and first stick got the IV into me, which is awesome. So I was really happy about that, because I'd rather, you take your time and get the ultrasound machine than have me be poked 6 or 7 times and have no luck with it. So she did that, and it's a teaching hospital, so I had a resident in the room at the time too, he was very, very nice. I don't remember his name, but he was there watching her perform the ultrasound to find the vein to put the IV in, and he was very intrigued. But yeah, that's the other part about this hospital is, it is a teaching hospital, like I just mentioned, so a lot of times you will have other residents in there who are learning, other students who are learning. So yeah, so after they got the IV in me, it took a little while, but eventually they did get blood work from me. They just got the CBC and the CMP, just normal blood work. The biggest thing they wanted though was for me to get a urine sample, and I told them I was just super dehydrated, so there was no way I was going to be able to provide a urine sample. So that's when they pumped me full IV fluids, and about halfway through the bag, they were like, okay, can you go ahead and cath to get that urine sample? So I was able to cath a very small amount, which is okay because they use that to get a dipstick performed in the lab, and then they also did a urine culture just to check for infection. That could be, bacterial infection. In the meantime, like I said, they just continued with IV fluids and nothing else really. They just, I saw 2 PAs, 1 PA, because I kind of got there like in between shifts. So there's, they were on 12-hour shifts, and I think the shift ends at like 7. So I got there like 6, and then eventually they switched to another PA. So the second PA was like, what's going on? I looked at your results, they're normal. Your lab results, everything looks normal. So I just told her that, I had a lot of nausea and I just didn't feel right, felt very dizzy and lightheaded. And she's like, well, it's probably just because you're really dehydrated. And I was like, okay. My white blood count was elevated, but they weren't super concerned about that. Considering I just had surgery and stuff. So probably part of the healing process. But everything else looked fine. And so they just gave me some Zofran to help with my nausea. And sent me on my way. So I was discharged like around 9 or 9:30, I think, and really late. And then afterwards, because the Zofran kicked in, I was starving. So I ended up going to Wendy's drive-thru and getting some chicken nuggets because I was hungry, because I could actually eat without feeling sick. And I was hydrated, so I just felt so much better. But anyways, so then I got home around 10:30. I probably didn't go to bed till like midnight because I ate food and all that. And so I fell asleep at like midnight, fell asleep all night, and slept until like 11 o'clock today, which is unusual for me. I don't usually sleep that long. I think there's just been so much going on between Monday and today. My body is just so tired and fighting infection of some sort, whether that be I don't know, like some small infection, I don't know. My urine culture came back negative, which is good news. It came back today, but the urine sample that I did leave, the dipstick, did show a small infection. So, but they didn't feel like I needed antibiotics, so I was just at home without anything. So I'm just slept in today, and I could not keep my eyes open. I remember waking up and trying to eat a little bit of cereal and then feeling like really nauseous after that, and then still not feeling right. I just remember like getting up in my head feeling like super, like I felt like super dizzy and lightheaded. So I must still be a little dehydrated, but I've been trying to drink ginger ale. So hopefully that will help. I've been living off of that to try to keep me hydrated, and I think it's definitely working. I definitely have had to cath a couple times today, so that's good. But yeah, so then I fell back asleep after I ate some breakfast at like 11, and I didn't wake back up until like 2:30 or 3. So I got a few hours more sleep, and I was still exhausted when I woke up, but I knew I needed to take a shower and I had an orthodontist appointment today, and it's really important that I make it to this one because I'm getting my braces off in 2 weeks. I needed to get my retainer. They had to get x-rays of my teeth in order to get my retainer and my braces off in 2 weeks. So I, was super nauseous and tired, but I was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be a really short visit. So I got myself up and went to the appointment and got it done. So I just there's food in my teeth, I think, because I attempted to eat something earlier today. But so I just got the I don't even know what they're called, but they're just rubber bands, like fishtail bands or something. But I don't know what they're called. But I got those on one last time, and then in 2 weeks, April 12th, I will be getting my braces off. And other good news is that I am cleared to go back to work. As of tomorrow, I'm cleared officially, but I'm not going to go back tomorrow. I'm going to go back on Monday, I think. Just because I have a post-op visit on Monday, and I just feel really not good right now. Still, I just don't feel comfortable going back tomorrow. So hopefully I can go back Monday, or if not, I'll go tomorrow. Who knows? But yeah, so I'm actually, end of the story, day 4 post-op, still not feeling good. and I'm not sure that has anything, in fact, I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with the surgery. The actual incision is clean, dry, intact. It is no signs of infection. They checked it twice yesterday. There's no pain, there's no swelling, there's no, soreness, or there's no, it's not warm to the touch or anything like that. So, and I don't have a fever or anything. So it probably just is my body trying to adjust to, having a procedure, and my body being thrown into SVT, and just a lot of different things happening, to my body in a short amount of time. I probably just need to give myself time to recover and rest, but I really think that not everybody will go through this. Like I said, I have underlying health conditions. I have Crohn's disease, I have IBS, I have, a couple other different things going on in my body that anything can trigger a flare up with these things. Any amount of stress to my body, even if it's not mental stress, it could be just physical stress, could cause a flare up. Also, my allergies are really bad, so that's another thing that's probably causing me to be drowsy. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing, the actual procedure went well, and I'm doing relatively well. Obviously, my blood work is fine, all my labs were fine, so I just need to rest and recover, and stay hydrated, because that's a huge thing. But yeah, I will keep y'all updated if anything else changes. But day 4 post-op coming at you. All right, I'll talk to you later.